my name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today, I'm going to be setting up my February reading journal. I hope everyone had a good start to their new year. It feels like January simply flew by, and now we are in the second month of the year. This month is super special because one of my most anticipated books of the year is being released on February 15th, and that would be House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. In honor of this release, I decided that my February reading journal theme would be Crescent City / House of Earth and Blood themed. Crescent City is the setting for this new Sarah J Maas series, and I love it because it blends modern technology and kind of urban living with magic and magical creatures, creating sort of a blended world. For my collage, I gathered a bunch of photos that I felt fit the House of Earth and Blood aesthetic, which is the first book in the series. I also included two of my favorite quotes from the book, Light It Up and Through Love All Is Possible. So for my title page, I decided to recreate the crescent moon that is on the cover of both books in the series. Since the color palette of the first book is red and gold, those are the colors that I used most throughout the spread. I love how simplistic this turned out, and I added some gold stars to either side just to give it a little bit more of a pop on the page. On the next page is my February calendar. I did my one-page layout as I normally do for my calendar because I find it's what works best for me, but as always, if another format works best for you, please feel free to just do that. In this spread, I decided to employ a lot of celestial imagery. On either side of the title page, I put two crescent moons with a full red moon in the middle. I really like how it turned out. I think it fills the page really nicely. Finally, at the bottom, I have my events section where I can bring down any big events in the month, as well as my YouTube tracker and my goals for the month. On to the next page, it is my to be read and my days read spreads. I drew out my little black bookshelf as well as some books on top of it, and later I will fill it in with some of the names of books that I'd like to get to this month. Below that is my days read spread. For my tracker this time, I decided to do some crescent moon symbols that I will be filling in every day that I read at least one chapter of a book. I added another quote to the bottom of this page that says, "Then let the world know that my first act of freedom was to help my friends." I just found this quote really wholesome and sweet when I read it, and I love finding a place to include it in my journal. I decided to keep this new content planning spread for February because I found it really worked well for me in the previous month. So I drew my large grid with sections for YouTube and Instagram, and throughout the month I will be writing down the photos I need to take, videos I need to film, etc. And because I love this quote so much, I added "Through love, all is possible" again to the bottom of this page. So my brainstorm page, as usual, is pretty blank. It is where I write down any ideas or, brainstorms for the month. I created a little border this time around using crescent moons and stars, just to give the page a little bit of color, and I think it ended up looking really beautiful with the red and the gold. On to my next page, I talked about last month how I wanted to include one readathon or read-along in my journal every month. This month, with the release of House of Sky and Breath, my plan is to actually reread the first book in the series because I have not read it since its release in 2020. So I created a little tracker to help me finish that book in time for the next book to come out. I think it ended up looking super cute, and I added some aesthetic photos to the bottom of the page just to fill it in, and I'm really excited to fill in this entire page throughout the next month. Next is my reading log. Once again, this is a new spread that I've decided to keep because it worked really well for me last month. I drew out my box with the sections for when I start the book, when I end the book, the title and author of the book, how many pages it was, and my rating. I also had a little bit of white space at the bottom of this page, so I decided to continue the aesthetic photos along the bottom, and I think it makes these two pages look really cohesive. Next is my monthly favorites spread. Also a new one I added this year. It is inspired by She the Spy over on Instagram. At the end of every month, I will be writing down my favorite movie, show, snacks, music, memory, book, YouTuber, or Instagrammer on this page as a little look back at the end of the year so I can see what I enjoyed. The final page is my favorite book of the month page. At the end of every month, I will be printing off a photo of my favorite book that I read and writing down the title, author, rating, as well as the review. I really enjoyed doing this last month, and it's something that I can't wait to keep up throughout 2022. So that is it for my February reading journal. Let's do a final flip through. I absolutely love how this spread turned out. To me, it really screams Crescent City, which makes me so happy because this is a story that has brought me a lot of joy. Sarah J Maas is one of the authors who really speaks to me and seems to understand what I'm feeling, so I'm really happy that I kind of honor her in this spread. Once again, House of Sky and Breath releases on February 15th, and I'm hoping to do a little reading vlog, so look out for that later this month. That is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!